buildings, wind turbines, cell towers, cranes, even flagpoles have the potential to impact the safety of our skies. If structures are built too high in areas where aircraft are flying, innocent passengers and bystanders on the ground could be at risk. So, if you're planning to build any type of construction that is located near an airport or navigation facility, or that is over 200 feet tall, you must file notice with the Federal Aviation Administration's Obstruction Evaluation Group, or OEG, at least 45 days prior to construction. This group of aviation professionals help ensure the FAA operates the safest and most efficient aerospace system in the world by studying structures on the ground and determining whether they are a hazard to navigable airspace or affect airport capacity. The process to file notice with the FAA is not very complicated, and the OEG is here to help. If you're unsure if you need to file, check out the FAA's Notice Criteria tool. If it turns out you are required to file, you're already on the right webpage to electronically file your Notice of Proposed Construction or Alteration, FAA Form 7460-1. Once you complete and submit the form, the OEG will assign your project an aeronautical study number and will verify and validate your submission. It's very important that the information you submit is accurate in order to prevent any delays in the aeronautical study. Next, the OEG collaborates with 10 different lines of business, including the Department of Defense, Department of Homeland Security, and departments of the Army, Air Force, and Navy, to determine whether your proposed structure, if built, would have an adverse effect on the national airspace. If there is no adverse effect, the OEG would issue you a favorable determination. However, if an adverse effect is identified, such as if the structure exceeds obstruction standards, if it blocks the clear view from the control tower, if it harms airport capacity or efficiency, or if it affects safety, then the OEG will issue a Notice of Preliminary Findings. The Notice of Preliminary Findings, or NPF, simply lets you know that the FAA has concerns and lists conditions that, if adhered to, could result in a favorable outcome. Once the NPF is issued, you have 60 days to agree to the conditions, request further study, or terminate the study. When further study is requested, the OEG may conduct more in-depth analysis to determine if the adverse effect is substantial. Further study includes opportunities to negotiate or propose mitigations. And the FAA may request public comment, which can be useful if someone outside the agency has new information about a possible adverse effect or lack of effect on the airspace. If further study determines the hazard affects a significant volume of air traffic or airport capacity, the adverse effect would be considered substantial, and the OEG may issue a determination of hazard. If not, the OEG would issue a favorable determination. All determinations are public records and are available for review on the FAA's website. Remember, the FAA does not have land use authority and doesn't issue building permits, but local municipalities may consider our determination as part of their building permit process. We all want to keep our skies and the people who travel in them safe.
By working together, we can make sure that the national airspace system is used in the safest and most efficient manner for both land development and air transportation.